Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Love Encompassed podcast. Of course, I'm Phil.
And I'm Victoria.
That's an opening line. This is going to be a fun one.
It makes me think of that. I got a little tongue-tied, guys. It makes me think of that.
Ace Ventura.
Yes. Oh, I love both.
Let's see that again in slow motion. Nice.
Those are classics.
Yeah. It's a good time. Good to laugh.
Nature Calls was my favorite one.
Yeah. It's always good to laugh. The Bible says merry heart does good like a medicine. Sometimes you just got to put on something and laugh.
Nice. Throwing the Bible in there.
Toss because of the subject matter that we're about to talk to. I thought I'd throw that out there. Listen. People have asked us, let's talk about it. Today's episode is on what? What are we talking about today?
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
Listen, you got to talk about it. It's part of life. And if you don't talk about it,
bunch of freaks. I'm
yeah.
joking.
Try to make it so taboo. It's nonsense. And plus, you just got to talk about it. Because there's two different views with men and women when it comes to it, especially in a marriage. There's just two different views. Sometimes, not all the time.
I'm about to say sometimes. Sometimes.
All right, so let's talk about it.
I was about to say, I think sometimes people automatically assume, which is probably more often than not, that it's the men that can sometimes want it more than the women. But sometimes the women out there to get a man to run for their money.
Wow. And all the guys listening to this are probably like, where they at?
Wow. But yeah, let's talk about what you want to start with it, boo.
Here's the thing is, obviously we'll talk about sex, but there's an intimacy part that needs to be addressed.
That part.
Right? Because most guys, and maybe I'm like just throwing, painting with a broad brush here, but it's like most guys will just go about their day, do everything else, then they go to bed, and then it's like needs to be go time.
Right. And the wife thinking, I done did with the kids, I done clean, I done cook.
Too. Well, I'll be honest, we've had this conversation before. pointing the finger at me. And it's like, hold on for a second. It's a process that needs to happen.
It is. And, I think it goes back into the love languages that we've discussed before, right? Your love languages that you have to want to make sure that that's being addressed because it adds to the intimacy part. Yeah. And then it is the non-physical intimacy. Hey.
Boring.
Who wants to do that anyway, right?
Waste of time.
But, and that's a conversation that you and your wife or husband need to discuss what that looks like for you. What does the non-physical intimacy look like for you? Is it like really being engaged in that conversation? Is it quality time while watching TV? Is it, what does that look like for you? And so that is a conversation that we have had. You understand? Because your love language is the physical touch. My love language is physical touch as well, but mine is more of like
boring physical touch.
Mine is more like hold
me. When do you hold my hand?
I want you to cuddle when we watch the show. Don't touch.
Right. You can hug me without touching my butt.
I honestly don't mind that. I don't. I really don't mind that. Like, I want to know that I still like, which I feel like I do. But I want to know that. Well,
our next episode will be on pride.
But I want to know it's like that, keep it young and not young, but keep it fresh and passionate and hot, right? So I don't mind you hugging me and grabbing my butt. I don't mind if I walk past and you smack my butt. I don't want that to be the main way of contact.
Yeah, that's the approach.
Yeah. So it's like,
that's how I signify.
You're like, treat me like an object, but don't treat me like an object.
Right. That's how I'm like.
No, but I don't mind that. It's just like I just want more than just that.
Yeah, because and I do understand. Like we're joking around a lot.
He's great.
I'm joking around a lot.
You had to learn.
I did have to learn
Which I understand.
Yes.
I understand. You gotta die. I'm just saying.
That episode on pride is going to be all you. It's going to be all you.
We just started a podcast. Did a podcast about knowing your value and your worth, and I know what I bring to the table.
Wow.
Okay? I'm just saying.
Wow. But it honestly, like, and we did have this discussion. We tell people that we do marriage coaching and stuff with that. We had this discussion like from the beginning. We were honest about it and I think you have to determine where you're at and how many times a week. What's the expectation? Because I think sometimes when guys get married, they're like, yeah, I expect it all the time, 24/7, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't work like that. I wish it did.
Well, here's the thing.
That's what I thought when I got married.
Well, here's the thing. So our backgrounds were different, right? You were in the streets before you knew Jesus.
Wow.
And then, dedicated his life, became abstinent, the whole situation shit.
Wow.
Not trying to put your business out there.
Well, you just did.
I grew up in a very religious home. And so I obviously was, I can't say obviously because that doesn't mean anything, but with me growing up in a religious home, and that was kind of like faux pas, wasn't really talked about in my home like that. It was like, And so when we got married, I was a virgin. With you already having experienced that, you know what I'm saying? You probably thought like, okay, I committed my life to Christ. All right, I'm going to do things right. Now I can do things without feeling bad.
Right.
And it wasn't that I was like, I didn't want to, but I think it was just new. I didn't know what to expect, like all these different things. And so you not understanding that and me not knowing how to really communicate that because it wasn't given space to in my home to feel comfortable in communicating that. It was like,
But I think we did a great job because we did communicate about it from the beginning.
Yes.
And I think that's the key to it anyway. You have to communicate. And it sounds crazy, right? But we do tell people this. It's like you have to communicate even what you like and what you don't like.
Yes.
Because it really is like a two-way street. It's constant. Like it's not just one person. If it's all about one person all the time, that's not beneficial, nor is it good for anybody.
No. And you have to...
Selfish.
You have to be okay and comfortable enough to have that conversation. And I will totally put it in your court because you were the one who brought the conversation up, right? I probably wouldn't have brought the conversation up if I'm being completely honest and transparent. When we first got married, within, I would say, our month or two in, I probably wouldn't have brought the conversation up because, again, I don't know what to expect. I'm not used to having this conversation. I don't know what to do. You were the one who's like, hey, let's talk about this, right?
Right.
And which I'm grateful for.
Well, I think if you take it's always weird to me. So God created it, but people make it so taboo to even talk about.
Let's talk about that. Is it people? Or is it tend to be the church house people?
Well, I think it's just people in general. Because I know people who don't go to church, they don't talk about it either. It's just like a taboo type of a thing or whatever it is. But it's like God created it. And it's an expression of love. It's all of those things. So it's like my philosophy was, dude, let's talk about it. Like, you're supposed to enjoy it.
But do you feel like you felt so comfortable to talk about it because of your history with it?
No, maybe. I don't know. I think the other part of it was, though, it's another aspect of marriage and our relationship. So I wanted to make sure, it was...
Yeah.
I want our relationship to thrive in every area. So whether it's financially or whether it's this or communication or whatever it is, I want it to thrive in every single area. I don't want that area to be an area it's like, oh, yeah, and then it's that. I don't want to do that.
But what I can say is which I was proud of myself for, because even though that was my background to not be given a space to have that conversation and talk about it, I think because we were such good friends first before we started dating that when you did bring it up, I felt comfortable enough to say, okay, well, And I was honest. And it's okay to be honest. It's okay to be honest in your communication with each other, especially in this area, but really with anything, as long as you're doing it in love. If the intent is to gain understanding, if the intent is to grow, you can't be afraid of what the outcome is going to be. Because I think if you express it from that place, the heart and the hope is that the person receives it in that way. And if they don't, oh my gosh, that wasn't my intention. Hear my heart, right? So when you brought up the conversation, like, okay, yeah, I want to talk about this, but I really don't fully know what I want because this is new for me, or I don't really know what to ask for because this is new for me. And so it was really just kind of like, okay, let's talk through this. And that's why I was
like, we should try it every night until you finally know.
Finally know. That's how Brandon came so soon. Oh, baby.
That's what happened. But I think that's a conversation, and the conversation. Now we've been married 19 years, over 19 years, and it's changed because you start having kids. You have time. You have things change over.
I'm sorry. I just think it's so cute when you're like, we're married 19 years, over 19 years. We just turned 19 in July.
We're almost 20.
It's like, I love that you love our marriage so much that you're like,
it's almost 20.
I just think it's so precious about you.
Next year we will be celebrating 20, and it starts on January 1st. It's a countdown to 20. So it's the year of 20.
I think I love you too. But yes, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it just changes.
Yes.
So it's like the years go past, and it's like, and here's what I've realized too, because I've had this conversation with guys before. And they're like, oh, well, when we first got together, it was, she was different. And I'm like, yeah, well, you were different the first time. You were trying to, bring her flowers. You were doing all these things that was setting all that up. Now kids came, everything else. And there's an expectation that's not talked about. And then what happens is when expectations that are not talked about don't get talked about, then resentment can start to get in. Then you get hurt feelings. Then you get offended. Then all these things, and it really takes that intimacy out of the marriage, which is it's a vital part of marriage.
It really is. And I also think sometimes what can happen as well is life does happen, right? Maybe you experience grief, or maybe you are dealing with the pressures of finances, or maybe health, or you're just busy and you're a new parents, or you got a lot of kids, or whatever the season is. If you're not careful and kind of keeping it at priority, before you know it, it's not happening, right? And it's not even just like the physical intimacy part. It is still the non-physical intimacy part as well. You're just kind of going back and forth, and then the next thing you know, I think that's how sometimes you can end up being like, well, what happened? You know what I mean?
Right. Because people start to lose their passion starts to fade, right? And then the human nature in people, because I've seen this happen, the human nature in people is they want to find that passion again. And then a coworker says something, somebody says something, and it sparks that thing again. And then they think, oh, well, this is over. This old relationship's over because this is a new spark. And it's like, no, it's not. It's you haven't really fully communicated everything. Hey, here's where I'm at currently. Here's what's going on. Maybe it was a death in the family, or maybe it was kids, or maybe it wasn't. It's like, hey, this is just what's going on. It doesn't mean that I don't want to.
Right.
It just means there's a lot going on. How can we work through this?
Right. And I was about to say that because it's not like we haven't experienced that. Like, I've had surgeries. Yeah. You've had surgeries. You went through a bout of dealing with anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
So obviously that's not going to be the top of of the list of things. So
It's like I'm really struggling. Yeah, me too. Different way.
But, you're right. We did have that conversation. Okay, how can we work through that? Okay, or understanding that season, okay, we may not be doing it as much of this week because, or whatever. But there are also those times where, let's be honest, our body changes, right? And so for women, libido changes, all right? Whether it could be from stress, it could be hormones. Okay, so if that is affecting those things, what are some things that can be done to kind of get that back? Is it taking supplements? Is it kind of relieving the stress? Either way, communicating through that.
Yeah.
And then, if for whatever reason, because I've had people say this to me before, like, hey, unfortunately something happened with my spouse, and that's an area that we really can't do the traditional way. What does that conversation look like to make sure that intimacy is still staying in place without feeling like you're losing it?
Yeah, you have to have, obviously we were joking, right? It's like, oh, you guys want to have sex all the time, blah, blah. But there is intimacy, and guys may not say it, but they still, especially as I've gotten older, I want to know, hey, you're attracted to me, so I want you to come on to me as much as I do you. Well, probably not as much because I come on to you a lot. I'll take 50%. But it's one of those things that where guys want to feel the exact same way. I want to know that I'm still like, oh man, that's still the person I want. That's still the person I want, to hop
You
in bed
basically
with.
saying you want to get hit on too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I want to get hit on too. And that's real. And that's, I think that's the benefit of having a circle around you that you can bounce ideas off of, that you can kind of have vulnerable conversations with. And I remember, I forgot what year, I think we were married like year 9 or 10. And I remember a woman that was older than I was, but I, valued her as a wise human being in my life. And she expressed that to me. She's like, hey, Victoria, he wants to know that, you checking him out. And I guess I never thought about that, only because I don't know. I don't know why I just thought guys didn't care about that.
Yeah, I don't know why either.
I don't know why.
It probably was because I do hit on Victoria a lot. And so, not in like a vulgar, crazy way. I'm just saying it's like I do. So there is that, she probably just thought, oh, he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as you get older, you want to know, hey, like, you find me attractive. Right. I'm not the only one who finds the other one attractive, right? You do find me attractive.
Right.
And it was a conversation that we had that I was like, hey, I kind of need to know. And you were like, for real?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it'd be nice.
And I said, say less, boo.
Wow.
I don't know why I did with the cat.
Yeah, I don't know either. Because I'm allergic to cats. Weird. But it is a thing that I think you do need to talk about in a marriage. I do think you need to talk about it if you're getting ready to get married. I think it's a subject you have to cover.
Yeah.
Like if you're engaged, it's a subject. People just don't want to talk about it. And then what happens?
Or
the worst place. Yeah. And the worst place you can go is the internet. So you start looking on the internet. Go ahead, try to type in a word and see where that takes you. And so people start going, and you don't just have the conversation with the person.
Right. And it's even, like, again, being honest, but in love. And so, like you said, we've been married for over 19 years.
Almost 20. Going into our 20th
But
year.
even having the conversation, because let's be real, if you've been married for a super duper long time, you gotta find ways to keep it interesting.
Yeah, you gotta spice it up.
Right. Because, we enjoy it. So therefore we like to do it often.
Yes. Sure, our kids are gonna love this podcast.
So because of that, you can get bored. Okay, I'm bored doing it this way. I'm bored doing it that way. Okay, so what can we do to spice it up?
Right. And again, though, I think that's having that conversation. I think people don't have that conversation. It's so weird to me because when we do these marriage coaching, it's one of the questions we do talk to people about because it is a vital part of your marriage.
It is.
It really is. It's just not like, oh, the guy has to have it all the time, blah, 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 blah. It's not. If both people are kind of working together and communicating and talking, it can be a very healthy thing.
Absolutely. And like you said, with the non-physical intimacy part, that leads up to it, right? Communicating that, hey, I need you to do this more. I need to feel like this more to even get me there, right? If even if it is a situation where like, hey, my plate, you're the wife, hey, I'm tired. I'm tired because I'm dealing with this, and that. But that has to be communicated. And I do think the partner on the other side has to be open and hearing that. Okay, it's not that I don't want to. It's not that I'm not interested in it. It's because I have so much going on in my life. It's kind of like draining me. And because it's draining me, this is why. Okay, well, what does that look like? How can I help you not feel that way? And it's not because, okay, my goal is to get some. What do I need to take off your plate?
Right. Fine, I'll clean the kitchen today.
Right. It's like, it's for me anyways, it's like, you care about me.
Yeah.
And because you care about me and this part of our relationship and talking and going on dates, like that's part of the non-physical intimacy. Going on dates, like do the things that you did before all life happened.
Right. And I think you have to, when you were talking about hey, I'm tired, I'm this and that, as long as that doesn't become the excuse every single time. So, because that's what happens. It's like, I'm tired. You see all this stuff. Guys joke about it. You see,
I got a headache.
I got a headache. I'm tired. Maybe tomorrow, all these things. And what happens is, and this is what people don't realize, the rejection eventually starts to lead to, I'm getting tired of being rejected. And that rejection starts to come in, and resentment follows the rejection. And so people get rejected after so long, then they become resentful of the spouse, or they become, and it's like, you don't want to do that. So I get it. Hey, I'm tired. I'm not feeling good. I got a headache. I got all these things. Yes. But making sure it's communicated and it's still being worked on so that it doesn't become a normal thing all the time.
And even if it is, ladies, like, because I've been there where I'm like, hey, man, I just don't feel the most sexiest right now, right? Maybe we are focusing on an insecurity about ourselves, or we're just not feeling good about ourselves, and sometimes that can affect our want to. And so that can still be communicated. Hey, it has nothing to do with you. Right now, I am mentally trying to process, like, I don't feel the sexiest right now. But don't just leave it there, right? It's not so much his job to make us feel sexy. It helps, right? But we have to own our sexy. So maybe, do a new style, whatever, go shopping, find something that makes yourself feel good. Because when you feel good, everything else kind of flows from there.
Yeah, let me speak from the guy side of that. So when they say that, then our first response is, you're beautiful.
Why you say it like that?
That's what they say.
You're beautiful.
You're beautiful. Sexy to me, and that's all that matters. And it's like, I get what you're saying, but it's not all that matters. Like, and so I get what you're saying, but that is a good way of even building intimacy. It says, okay, yeah, you are beautiful to me. You are sexy to me. All of those things. But I can understand how you're feeling. What can I do to help? What are some things that I can do that can make you feel this way, or whatever it is?
Absolutely. That does help. It does help. And that's when I say, I need just grace while I, process through this. Or I just need,
Guys are normally like, how long is that grace supposed to take? 10 minutes? You need 10 minutes of grace?
Well, the grace is because I understand you got needs. But how can I give something if I'm feeling empty right now? So it's like, give me some, not space, but like give me a little time to figure it out so that I can make sure, and be intentional though. Be intentional about, okay, I need to, like I said, I need to go this or that, or I need to whatever, or I just need to kind of like get out this funk that I'm in, whatever it is. And sometimes it is prayer. Like, God, I'm in a funk, and I don't know why, but I need you to help me.
And guys are like, you got 24 hours. See you right back here tomorrow night.
But you know what? I mean,
I'll give you till morning.
I'll give you till morning. That's crazy work.
And that's the other thing too, is guys are, it's like, I don't feel sexy. I don't feel this. I don't feel that. And so this is kind of a crazy subject, but they're like, just turn all the lights off. And guys are visual. And so they do want to see their wife. Mm-hmm. They do want to see them naked.
I have found, just from stuff that you have said, but just from conversations of other married couples or just men, right? Whether you're watching TV or something like that, yes, they are visual creatures, but I think that for the most part, they don't see the imperfections that we see of ourselves. And so we'll be like, well, I don't feel sexy because of this or that, or because maybe we've had some kids and our bodies don't look quite exactly the way it once did or whatever. And so you feel a little self-conscious about it. For the most part, men don't see that.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't. They don't see it at all. I like how you said for the most part. They don't even see it.
And I say for the most part because, you do have some little shallow how. You know what I mean? If y'all ever see that movie, Shallow, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Shallow
There's
How.
a movie called Shallow House.
Which is always funny because guys are always like, she don't look like she did when I married her. And it's like, dude, you don't look the same. You look horrible.
Well, that's a bit rich.
Yeah. In my case, you had hair. Somewhat.
Yeah. You were holding on when we met.
It was fading.
Yeah.
I had a tight fade.
I don't even know if that was considered a tight fade, boo. That was a holding on.
All right, so.
I said it's time to let go. Accept what is happening.
So here's a tip. You gotta give him tips. Here's your tip. Here's what I think from a guy's standpoint. Talk about my hairstyle.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes, tips.
I just thought about because my boy sometimes he'll see old pictures like, bro, your hairline was fading fast. Look way back here.
I laughed because the other day I was helping Brandon get ready for his senior pictures that he had to get done. And I was doing his hair or whatever, helping with his hair. And I said, oh my goodness, Brandon, what would you do if you got your dad's jeans and you started thinning? He goes, oh my gosh, I would find something. Like he's just like, that
horrible.
would be like
that's terrible.
Detriment. He was like, I can't.
That's terrible. It's horrible.
Sorry. Tips. Go.
Nice. Here's tips. Have conversations about it. If something's not working, if it's in the relationship or in this department, in the sex and intimacy department, sit down, have a conversation. Hey, this is what's working. This is what's not working. Here's what we need to do. Here's how we need to grow. Have those conversations.
Yeah. This is what I'm needing. This is what I'm not needing. Go back to your first love. Go back to doing those first things that you guys once were doing outside of the bedroom, talking to each other, maybe texting to each other throughout the day, maybe sending some little, sexy pic or whatever. Hey, don't open this around people, little things like that.
Nice.
Send a couple of videos thinking of you, you know what I mean?
Wow.
You say wow, but you like it.
Well, you know what? I know we're going to end this podcast.
They're so stupid.
I'm just saying. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Hopefully this helps. We heard you. People asked about it. We talked about it in our way that we like to. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us at Love Encompassed. And then, of course, Victoria and Phil Clemens, you can follow us on Instagram as well as on TikTok. Follow us on there as well.
Yes, and if you haven't already, check us out on YouTube. Go ahead and share if you're watching. Hit that notification button and subscribe button if you haven't already. And until next time.
See you later.